Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
There we are. Oh, I didn't know you were going to try to talk under it. Sorry.
Yeah. Someday we'll get it.
We'll get it.
We'll get it. Someday.
Good morning, T-Bear.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Everyone.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dan Lombardo. With me, as always, Daniel Reyes. With me, as always, Scott Strongbeard1701 at gmail.com Bowders. And
hello,
what up, kids.
A-Wolf already was. Boy, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this episode.
Well, none of it is good. So
we all have thoughts.
We all do have thoughts. Yes.
God.
Yes.
You know, I think the three of us are like the three bears from the Goldilocks stories. I really do. I think we have a. I think we have
on the internet. You say?
Yeah, I think we have a. Yeah, all three of us. I think we have some hate. I think we have some love, and I think we have some.
Yeah. Well, we got stuff for sure.
Yeah. Oh, there's stuff.
There's
stuff.
There are things.
And my, for those listening at home, without the video, I tend to put up funny, little funny names for myself under my face in my box here. And my name this week is How Many Plot Holes We Got on This Ship.
It's
but the rule does it?
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Autocorrect.
Damn it. It's supposed to say
because it's a bumpy ship. I get it.
God.
Yep.
It's supposed to say plot holes, and you have to read it in Rick Moranis' voice from Spaceballs. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway.
Gotcha.
Wow. Jokes are always funnier when you have to explain them.
They are. They are. Absolutely.
This one must be hilarious.
For those of you who are just listening and not watching, especially for the ladies, y'all missing out because Dan and Daniel are two very sexy, good-looking guys. So if you're not, you should check out the video podcast. We do it on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah, and Instagram.
And Instagram. So check us out over there.
Yeah, it's streaming right now. So yeah.
There, I fixed it.
There you go. Good.
There you go.
Plot holes we got on this ship. There you go.
Wonderful.
Oh boy.
Wonderful.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Jay, I was confused with Dan's name today.
Yep.
Awesome.
Bumpy ride.
Yeah. Well,
hey, they both work. They both work.
They
so.
both work.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
How was your guys' week?
Oh.
Like that. All right.
That good, huh?
Yeah. I think I talked about it last week that I now manage 2 regions instead of 1. And it's a lot of work.
With twice the pay and twice the benefits?
Exactly. Yes. That's
right.
exactly what they did.
That's how it works.
So it's a lot of work, and I'm playing catch up. And yeah.
I made my plans for New York. I got my hotels booked and my flights and all that.
Yeah, you know what? Change of plans. I spoke to Duval.
Yeah.
And he said he's got a set of cots in his guest room.
Perfect.
So we can all
Yeah.
Yeah, do the live pod from there. From the cots.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. He said it's actually not his apartment, it's his grandma's apartment.
Sure.
Okay.
She's cool with us staying there. So,
Perfect. Yeah.
She's gonna
I'm excited. I'm going to get a chopped cheese apparently. So.
Oh man, that's going to be it. Yeah, you guys are going to have fun. I wish I could be there, but you guys are going to have fun. Are we doing a pod or?
You can. No one said you can't be there.
We had this discussion before. I have a boss.
We clearly invited you. We clearly invited you.
And I have a boss.
And there are tens of people that listen to this podcast.
That's
right. True. Some would say dozens.
Nearly dozens.
Some would say dozens.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're going on a cruise instead, right?
Yes, I'm going on a cruise with my family instead.
Okay.
So,
And here, I mean, I always thought the Trekcast was a family. That's just the way I thought about it.
Wow.
it was a tough decision. It was. It really was.
And he'll be
But-
stressing over it with his little drinks with little umbrellas in it. later
Oh,
on the
absolutely.
way.
Yeah, when I'm out in the Caribbean.
That's right. Hanging out with Johnny Depp and crew.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, my week was pretty much uneventful. Although Friday I did had a chance to go to a Patriot Guard mission. We had a funeral
cool.
for a military veteran.
Yeah.
And that was it was very. They always do a really good job. We had lunch with the state ride captain. I was going to ask you if I could spend 60 seconds talking about that. For those
Go for
of
it.
you who don't know,
Hey, Scott.
yeah.
Scott, you can always plug
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Cool.
don't ever have to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, the Patriot Guard Riders, they're a nonprofit outfit whose primary mission is to attend funeral services for fallen service members, veterans, and first responders.
They're in every state, right?
They are in every state. Yep.
Okay.
They also attend Memorial Day events and welcome home ceremonies and stuff like that. And I've just found that it's been a good way to give back and to say thanks, for those who sort of stood up for us. Now, I happen to be an Army veteran and I ride a motorcycle, but you don't have to be either one to join. There's guys that show up that are part of the Patriot Guard, that they're not veterans. They just have a respect for our men and women in uniform, and they show up in cars. And so you don't have to be a motorcycle rider. You don't have to be a veteran. So if you want more information about the Patriot Guard, if you want to request them for a funeral, or if you want to join the Patriot Guard for missions, just go to patriotguard.org.
Okay.
So,
Right on.
Cool.
so
Yeah,
thanks,
very
guys.
cool. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's with all that, let's get to the news.
Star Trek news.
All right. So our first news story. Stop me if you heard this, but Paramount is in talks to be purchased.
I don't even know the story, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is either Paramount is for sale or Star Trek 4 is a go. It's
Exactly.
one of the two.
That's the stories we keep hearing. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Apparently, Sony and a private equity firm called Apollo Global Management are in talks to work together to make a bid to purchase Paramount. And so we don't know much more right now, but we do know that currently Paramount is talking with a separate company, Skydance Media. So this would be independent of Skydance. This would be a different offer with Sony and Apollo. It's still very early. We have no idea what the amount would be. We have no idea what Sony's plans with Paramount. But for me, this gives a little bit of pause. Skydance, you kind of know what you're getting. They made the last two Star Trek movies, so you get an idea of where they're going. Probably more of the same where we're currently at with Star Trek. But Sony, for me, you're either going to get Spider-Verse Sony, which is good and knows what they're doing, or you're going to get Madam Web Sony, which is going to be even worse than what we got now. So it's really tough to say.
I just can't wait for the Lower Decks Morbius crossover that they're rumoring.
That'll be fantastic.
Yes.
Can we contact the people at the...
The other thing is, I mean, I've never bought or sold a movie studio, or a media empire or whatever.
Let me check my records to see if I have.
Check it real quick.
Yeah.
I have bought and sold a few cars, and someone's kicking the tires, they're on the fence, and you talk about the guy who was here yesterday, who's coming by later with his uncle to kind of move things along. So I don't put stock in anything that any of these people say.
No, because so far they've talked to like Warner Brothers and Skydance, and I think there's been
it's getting to the point where it's a joke. Like I was going to say, can we contact the people at The Onion and have them run a story that we're going to buy it?
Yeah, because then they were going to merge with Apple to create a new streamer. They were
Well,
going to merge with Comcast to do a new streamer. Like,
and again, to continue with the used car analogy,
yeah,
when something is listed for sale past a certain period of time, people start looking at it differently and
Yeah.
saying something wrong with that.
What's wrong with this?
What's wrong? If you saw a motorcycle in the, I'm gonna date myself, but you saw a classified ad for a motorcycle,
absolutely.
and it's like, that's a great price, and for whatever reason you don't follow up on it, and 6 weeks later it's still for sale.
Oh,
You
there's
know
something wrong with it.
There's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are there only photographs from the right side of the bike?
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see what happens. This is so early on that we can't say like, oh yeah, Sony's going to buy them or Skydance or whatever.
Yeah.
But clearly Paramount is for sale, so any future plans that they're saying right now could go right out the window the minute there's a new boss in town.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Speaking of new boss, so we mentioned last week that Lower Decks was getting axed. This week we're learning that Mike McMahon is getting a golden axed. According to Polygon.com, Mike McMahon is going to be spearheading a new show for, I believe it's Comedy Central. He's going to do a take on Sega's Golden Axe game.
Oh, when you said Golden Axe, I thought you were like, my mind went to this game.
Yeah, that's the
But
game,
I also
yeah.
thought, no, he's just making a pun about him getting the axe. But anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So they have a 10 episode order. I had seen some people online talk about like, oh, this means he's ready to move on. He's getting rid of Lower Decks, so that's it. There's no chance in saving Lower Decks. Look, these kinds of things take forever to make into fruition. He had probably planned to do Lower Decks and Golden Axe at the same time. I mean, Seth MacFarlane does like a million cartoon shows all at once.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's not the case. It's just they announced it right after, and it's just timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember playing this game in
Me
junior
too,
high school.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
playing it and thinking, almost He-Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Sword
Yeah.
and Sandals
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
I think I
He-Man.
played it 3 times in total on the
Yeah.
Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Oh.
To be fair, that Golden Axe was a holo program within Lower Decks. Could have been.
Because I mistake Golden Axe with Altered Beast sometimes.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
Or Gauntlet.
Or
There's the other
Gauntlet.
one,
Yeah.
Gauntlet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be 10.
Strongbeard is about to die.
God, I love Gauntlet. That's such a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strongbeard needs food badly.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I may say that at the convention.
Brings
Needs
back
food
memories.
badly.
Makeup T-shirt. Strongbeard is about to die.
Yeah, so this will be on Comedy Central, 10 episodes. So don't have a release date yet. It's just announcing. So
On Comedy Central?
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's a comedy.
It'll be a
All
goofy show. I mean, it's Lower Decks, right? Kind of.
All
And
right.
then our last news story. It's an update from a story we did a while back.
Star
we
Trek 4?
No. This is from UPI.com. Remember we talked about that Starship Enterprise model that had been discovered
Yep.
at an auction house?
Yep.
So it finally got returned to the Roddenberrys earlier this week. That's the model right there with Rod Roddenberry. But yeah, so it's back home. It's a pretty cool looking model.
You know what's funny? You read the article
Yeah.
and it says, you go way down to the bottom. It says how the model was returned and that was facilitated through such and such auction house.
Right.
And that I read it between the lines. Somebody contacted eBay. Somebody subpoenaed the contact information for the person who had it for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was sent notice that, hey, this item was stolen in 1973 or whatever. You're in possession of stolen property.
Mm-hmm.
Return it now or face the consequences. I mean, it doesn't matter when it was stolen. It's
Right.
stolen property. That's it. If
Yeah.
they can produce an LAPD incident report from 1973 that establishes that this is stolen property, that's it. They get it back. So the article makes like, they did this wonderful thing and gave it back.
Mhm.
No, you got a nasty gram that said this thing is stolen. Ship it
Give
to
it back.
us.
Yeah.
Which it's fine. It's back in the right hands.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's just funny. It's back. So yeah, and that's all the news stories.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
You guys ready to talk about this week's episode?
Yeah. Before we do, just wanted to tell everybody too, if you hadn't seen it, the panel that Nana Visitor did is up on YouTube and on the. So I went to Comic-Con last weekend, and when we did the show last weekend, it was Sunday. We still had a little bit of a Comic-Con left over. So after I did the show, I went to Nana Visitor's panel, and I went up and I asked I asked the perennial Trekcast question about.
Oh yes, I was wondering about this.
Yep.
Oh,
and so I asked her about who was the best cook, and I told her that I had been to the same panel a year before with Terry Farrell and Shran. Help me out, guys.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs, thank you.
Yeah.
And said that her name had popped up in that answer, and we had a nice little discussion about it. She mentioned she was going over to somebody's house this weekend. She says she hangs out with like Michael Dorn and hangs out with a lot of the crew. She talked about Renee Abdul-Jawad. I think I got that 93% right.
Yeah, there you go.
And Nog, and we talked a little bit about that. So
yeah. So what did she say about her being a good cook? Was she?
Yeah, she said she does cook. She often cooks. She mentioned a recipe. So yeah, go on the Trekcast Facebook page. Or go on the
what is that? Yeah.
Hasperat.
Right. Hasperat. Yeah.
Drumsticks.
That's right.
It was a good panel. It was about 55 minutes long. It was a really good panel.
Oh,
so,
awesome! Yeah.
So check that out on the Trekcast YouTube channel and Facebook page.
Right on. Well, cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's get to it because I know we want to talk about this week's episode. So.
Fun will now commence.
All right. So our main topic is kind of going over this week's episode of Star Trek Discovery, Season 5, Episode 4, Face the Strange. Let me just read real quick the official log line, which is, on the way to the next clue, the U.S.S. Discovery is sabotaged by a mysterious weapon, leaving Captain Burnham, Rayner, and Stamets as the only crew members who can possibly save the ship in time. So, I mean, that pretty much sums it up.
Yes, it does.
We did get a little quick early shot of our Bonnie and Clyde couple. And you don't mess with them because they will poison money. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
There was no chemistry between the two of those.
No,
folks.
there's not. There is not.
That kiss was forced.
I get the feeling that she's going to take him out at some point. I don't think this is real.
Yeah, I get that feeling too. Yeah,
I
get that feeling too. And they did that thing that I said that I hate, where they go 18 hours earlier, and I'm like, ah, and it's confusing because it didn't do it. I understand why they do it sometimes, but why they did it in this episode, it was confusing enough with all the timeline jumps.
I can.
I can fix her, buddy. You can't. I've gone down that road. It does not work.
Yeah, I've been down that road.
Yeah.
Some things just can't be fixed.
Exactly.
So sometimes the effort is worth it, though.
No, it isn't. So basically, a time bug, which is a new thing we've now created, gets activated and basically creates a time loop for Discovery, and only Burnham and Book can get out of, and Stamets can get out of it because they were
not Book.
Rayner.
Rayner.
Yeah, can get out of it because they were transporting right when the bug activated, right? Like in that
Yep.
second. So
Yep.
they somehow got out of it. And yeah. What do we think of the concept of a time bug?
Well, as ridiculous as it was,
Mhm.
did you hear what type of device it was? Who created the device? Did you
I
catch
don't
that?
remember.
I didn't catch it.
It was the Crenum. And
Yes,
if you remember,
I heard
the
their name
Crenum,
drop. Yeah,
Yep, the
from Voyager.
Crenum. Yep, the Crenum were from Voyager. That was the Year of Hell people. Was the Crenum.
Yeah.
So and they said how these devices were left over from the temporal wars. So I thought it was cool. This is my one good thing. Remember my new policy that I'm going to say. I'm going to say one good thing about an episode. It was a nice callback to the Crenum, that they're still around, mucking with time, and that they had a pivotal role in the temporal wars. So that was cool. The idea about I think it was the same device that tried to kill Padme in her bedroom.
That's right.
And,
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Or Paul Atreides in his bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
The conundrum that it created with the two of them hopping through different time periods, but on Discovery. I understand what they were trying to do. This was essentially not the same, but it's similar to like a Clips episode that they used to do in the 1980s, where they show you highlights of past episodes. This is similar in that, we're going to show you highlights of different periods of this show and things we remember, situations we remember about this show. No Lorca.
Yeah, they called him out.
You had this opportunity.
They name dropped him.
You had this opportunity to bring back Lorca. You had this opportunity to bring back Giorgio, who we know.
She's there.
She's there.
She's been on set.
Yeah.
She's been on set filming her 31 thing.
Right.
You know, how hard would it have been to walk her across the street to the other studio for a couple of hours?
Half an hour.
And what's Lorca doing? I mean, is he a big time Hollywood? Is he doing whatever? I mean,
he does a lot of like guest starring roles, and he does a lot of like.
Hey, I know what show he could have done a guest starring role on today.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Thursday. Come on.
Yeah.
But the time back and forth. My wife, Mrs. Strongbeard, just asked, haven't they done a time loop episode in Star Trek before? Yeah, a lot.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
You know,
but they've done them better. That's the thing.
Right.
Right, yeah. I think they've done them in just about every incarnation of Star Trek, like where they're either doing a loop or they're going through different periods of time. I know they did one on Voyager, where they're going through different, parts of, the timeline.
TNG did a few of them that I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could have been doing this hundreds, thousands of times.
So as they're traveling through the ship, it keeps getting reset every few minutes. They realize, okay, we can get Stamets to help us because of his tardigrade DNA,
his magic blood.
He's not affected, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So he's hopping through time. Also, he wakes up when he's severely injured, and he's talking gibberish to Hugh in the sick bay. It was nice to. Okay, I'll say two nice things. It was nice to see. It was nice to see Stamets have to revert to his old character traits to fit in with being in a different time frame. It was nice to see Stamets acting like a total asshole again, but doing it for the purpose of completing the mission or for the purpose of the story, and knowing, like, and calling out, I used to be kind of a jerk.
Right.
That was
great.
That was cool to see.
Cole in our Instagram says it was basically a call out of the season 7 episode of Voyager where Janeway and Chakotay are jumping through time splits of the ship. Yeah.
Yep,
yes.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yep. It's also very Avengers Endgame, complete with Burnham looking at herself and saying that's the Federation's ass.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
So here's my problem. That's the major plot hole that
Mhm.
really irks me about this episode. So she's basically fighting herself at one point, trying to convince herself, I'm not a shapeshifter, I'm you, I'm from the future.
Mhm.
And past Burnham, it just isn't having it.
Right.
You are wearing a personal transporter / tricorder / replicator on your wrist /
Mhm.
you have all of this 32nd century tech at your disposal. You've already established that as long as we complete this mission, the time loop will be closed and there'll be no damage done to the prime timeline.
Right.
You can't convince her that you're from the 32nd century at that
Yeah,
point.
do a site to
Just
site
call-
real quick,
call up-
and
Or just call up your personal heads up display thing that comes out of your comm badge, and she's
Mhm.
never seen anything like that before. Burnham, even past Burnham, is a scientist.
Right.
You know, scan me. You'll see my temporal signature is different.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. You know, they're arguing about
or
nothing.
Just
I
create
know
your
they.
phaser and stun her, knock her out.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
yeah,
There's
I don't got time for
There's-
this. Stun.
there's
You're
that.
done.
I know that you want them to. I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind? Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm kicking my ass.
But I
Who
know
said
you
that?
want this
They're
t-
old.
I know.
That
I
movie
know
was from
you want-
'94.
I know you want this tension between these two characters, or this
Mhm.
character and themselves, and that's fine. But you have to, if you're going to create that, you have to do a better job writing.
Yeah.
You can't just assume that your audience is stupid, and they're not gonna think these things. And it carries over, because there's a point where, you know, old Burnham defeats young Burnham, and decides her only choice is, I got to make my way to the bridge and just come clean with the people up there. And she convinces Ariam, who's in command of the ship, and Ariam is on board with doing this plan. They have to bring the ship to warp and then collapse the warp bubble at the same time as they, I don't know, try and trap the time bug in the MacGuffin device or whatever. And they're all set. They're about to do it. And down in engineering, young Burnham and what's his nuts, you know, they find Rayner, and they're holding him at gunpoint. They won't let him and Stamets use the MacGuffin device. Okay. Captain Burnham is on the bridge. Comms are open. Open. She's talking to main engineering. They're arguing about this.
Mhm.
And Ariam just sits there like, I'm gonna see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Right. She could have
Instead of
ordered,
just
hey,
coming
we figured something out.
Stand down.
Yes, just come over the comms and say, Specialist Burnham, it's under
Stand
control.
down.
Stand down. That's it. That's all you had
That's
to do.
all it took. Yeah.
And if she didn't want to do it, all she had to say is, Lieutenant, whatever his name is, make her
Yeah.
stand down. But instead, Ariam just sat there doing nothing.
Right.
That was ridiculous. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plot holes all over the place.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. It was
I'm
nice
gonna
to see
say my
Ariam
one good
again
thing.
and Bryce.
It was nice to see
Yeah.
them again. Yes.
Is that your
but
good thing, Scott? To see them?
Well, I had 3, but yeah, it was nice.
Okay.
It was
What
well,
was one of your-
2. It was nice to see them. I loved the interaction between Jet Reno and Stamets. That was great. And I kind of called it just before she said something. I'm like, she's going to figure it out. She's going to say something. And they treated it differently than I would have. I would have made her realize it, but not make it a joke. Because she's like,
Right.
are you going through a time loop right now?
Mhm.
Nah, I'm just messing with you.
Right.
I would have kept it like that she just intuited, oh, you're going through a time loop right now. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, what can I do to help? I guess, so I'm not going to remember this? All right, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
tell the
Yeah.
captain to go F themselves or whatever she wanted to say, you know,
Yeah.
since nobody's going to remember this.
That
But
was my
I like-
favorite part.
I like that.
Was,
Yeah, I
was
love
Jet
it.
Reno as well.
Yeah.
She's great. She's just like, I don't care.
Nope.
Yeah.
She's so chill.
Yeah,
I love her
awesome.
chill.
surprised she didn't walk in and be like, "Where's my chips?"
Right?
She's still Jet Reno on a quest for chips all season long.
Yep. That'd be great.
It would be great, actually. Yeah, but you're right, Dan. That was a big plot hole.
It was
just
terrible. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah. It was cool to see the differences between like how far the characters have come along.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Stamets
Thought
too.
the fight scene was good between Burnham and Burnham.
Yeah. That was really well done, and that's tough because she had to learn both sides of that fight. So that's not an easy thing to do, and seeing the differences in Stamets, how he used to be and how he is now. I guess magic mushroom blood calms you down. Is that what we learned?
Yeah, it's got that chill factor.
I guess so.
I thought for sure Michael was gonna, get some temporal loop nookie.
That was an awkward scene.
I thought she was, it was in her head. She's like, this whole shit is gonna reset in like 12 minutes. We could do this.
Hey,
I was having trouble keeping up with what book was that? Where were they? Where were they in the timeline?
Well, I don't know. I think
because it was
3-ish, maybe.
Yeah, it was third. So it was before he got arrested,
right?
Or before he did that. I think it was season 3.
Yeah.
But so I was having a hard time keeping up with. Okay, where's book then and where is book now? And they have seen each other, but.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do a time travel episode, it's inherently confusing.
Ash Tyler. The real question was Ash Tyler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would have been more interesting, I think, because they used to be together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael could have been having nookie with a couple different dudes in one episode. It could have been the Michael Burnham After Dark episode.
Mm.
Dan's like
a time bug, but it's a bed bug.
Yeah.
It's a bed bug.
That's right.
They did pay off that short trek where the ship is in the future.
Yeah.
That was surprising. I thought for sure that they had forgotten all about that.
Well, that makes me wonder if the series they'll still be on the ship, but like some sort of tease that ultimately we're gonna get to that point where the ship gets abandoned.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because Zora made reference to the fact that she was there because they failed in this mission that this season revolves around. So
we know out there.
Yeah, we know they're not going to fail in this mission.
Okay.
They're gonna succeed in the end, and I think that's going to erase that timeline where Zora is alone in the future.
Yeah, that's smart. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, they closed the loop. So, yeah. All right, I could see that. I could absolutely see that. And then we'll argue about it at conventions with other guys.
Yeah.
Well,
other people will argue about it in about 10 weeks or whatever. How many episodes are left? I don't even know, but
we just finished 4, so 6 weeks.
Yeah, in about 6 weeks, I'm gonna defrag my head, and that's gonna be the last time I think about Michael Burnham or Star Trek Discovery. I think.
So you get a really bad cold, and then you watch it all again.
Nope. I'm gonna do an Arium. I'm gonna be going through my memories and be like, whoop, that one can go. Whoop, that one can go. Whoop, we'll keep that one. Whoop, that one can go.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So we got another episode next week. I watched the Will Wheaton show. They didn't really get into a lot. They interviewed.
No, because even Will was like, "This is terrible."
Oh no, he loved it. He loved it. He loves it all.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I was gonna say either he likes this or he is the best actor in Star Trek.
I think he's the best actor in Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
not.
I think he's a very good cheerleader for it. is
Yes.
what it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
He is an excellent cheerleader
Well,
for it.
he knows, he knows what butters his bread,
That's right.
and
Sure.
it's Star Trek.
Yeah.
So
Sure. And he's a fan. He's a legitimate fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hope we see more Tig Notaro throughout the season. I hope.
I do like her.
Yeah. She is a breath of fresh air when she comes on.
Yeah.
Very much so. I would watch a series just about her.
Yeah. Yeah. That's they were saying that in the chat. Reno 1031.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And even A Wolf said that he would forgive Paramount Plus for canceling Lower Decks if they gave Jet Reno her own show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you do on the Jet Reno show? What
It would just be,
her-
and it'd be like
whatever she wants.
yeah, it'd be like Star Trek engineering. It would just be
the quest for chips?
the quest for chips.
Yeah.
I mean, they did 3 seasons of Picard.
You could almost do like a This Old House type thing, but with starships, and she's just fixing them.
That would
That's
be
like
Geordi.
I
That'd be
love
Geordi,
it.
though.
I love it. Jordy doesn't have a personality.
Right.
What?
Right.
Okay, he doesn't have enough personality.
Well,
Yeah, Rito's got a lot of personality, and she could go around, like she could become like the engineering inspector general or something, and she should have interactions with different ships and different, she hangs out with Barclay and hangs out with Torres and hangs out with.
Awaiting Again says she could be teaching young engineers. That doesn't. She could be in the Academy show.
Academy show.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent idea.
Uh huh. T-Bear, how about an origin story?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they're going to do the stupid Academy show, that could be good. Yeah.
They could do a flashback scene. We haven't really heard about her past, except she was married and that her wife died during the Klingon War.
Mm-hmm.
It might be interesting to do a flashback scene revolving around that.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope that they will close this show up by moving everything to the 25th century. I really have no interest in the 32nd century. I have no interest in Star Trek Academy in the 32nd century. Just
Same.
Right.
Same.
I wish they would just listen for once. Listen! Why won't you listen?
Do they not know who we are?
I don't know.
T-Bear computer end program.
I got one. The very last scene is Riker in the holodeck with all the Discovery crew, and he says computer end program, and he kind of looks around and he goes, well, that was no help at all.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
Why do you think they're so afraid of doing a series that comes after Voyager?
I don't know.
My guess from the way this it seems that these producers have approached Star Trek is they want to put their own stamp on it, and so if they continue past Voyager, they have to tie themselves to what has been done in the past, whereas by throwing it in this other century, they can do whatever the hell they want, and that's
Then
what they're after.
Go make a movie or a show
Yeah.
that doesn't have the name Star Trek on it, and then you can absolutely 100% do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. They've established these, they call them rules. They say they want to be unshackled from canon.
That's right.
Well, we like canon.
Yeah.
That's right.
We grew up with canon. All this canon, all these rules, all these characters, all this past, the things that came before, that's what we fell in love with.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we as Trekkies love. So take a page out of our book. We're the ones that are begging for this, 25th century show that
Mhm.
takes place just after Picard let off. It's chronologically, makes sense as far as how many years after, the show Voyager is 20 some odd years old, make the show that old. All the events happen just after the Borg youth invasion of the early 25th century, and start from there. That's what we want.
Right.
And use these as guidelines. Use the canon not as shackles, but as a guide. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
Exactly. The only way to get around canon is not by going into the past or the future, but alternate reality. Yeah, like a different timeline or something. It's yeah.
Nobody wants to see the Kurtzman timeline.
No. I mean, that's what the Kelvin timeline is. It's,
Exactly.
He was part of that.
Nobody wants to see it.
Yeah.
They were fine for standalone things. The Kelvin timeline movies were okay. They were good. I'm
Mhm.
glad they're there. Stop and realize what we want.
They're making a fourth one, I heard.
Yeah, they keep
They
saying.
are? Do you have any information on that, Daniel? Do you have any news about that?
Oh, well, first it was going to be Tarantino, then it was going to be S.J. Cup, then it was going to be, it's just, the list is
Yeah.
insane.
What studio is making it? Paramount, obviously. Or wait, is it Skydance? Oh, no, wait. Is it
Sony? Is it going to be
is it Sony? Yeah.
Comcast? Is it going to be, yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, we got a lot of
Yeah.
people. All right, we already have people axing up in the chat, so let's
Cool.
Let's get the feedback.
Listener feedback.
All right. Scott, you said you had some emails? Yeah.
I do. I've got 2 emails.
Okay.
The first one is from Nancy. Strongbeard, you are such a wonderful, funny, intelligent co-host, but I'm your mom. What do I know? LOL.
That's awesome.
So that was from dear old mom.
Oh, is she gonna call in at some point? My mom called in once.
I'll see about having that happen.
That'd be great.
The second email is a little bit longer. It's from Duval.
Okay.
Greetings, Trekcast. After watching this episode, I had to write an email. I have some questions and some notes that I hope you guys will touch on and discuss on Sunday's podcast. 1. Burnham first tries contacting the bridge after the first flash time hop in the ready room. No response. Why don't you ask Zora, Discovery's computer, on what's happening? Yes, they eventually do the other time hops, but honestly, it should have been the second thing to ask the first time. 2. Okay, the transporters and the ship systems all seem to be glitchy. Why the hell would they want to take the turbo lift? Do you guys have a death wish? I mean, come on, Michael. All these time shenanigans happening on Discovery, and no one from the Department of Temporal Investigation show up. Not one
Right.
DTI agent comes knocking at all. 4. Notice that Rayner was able to keep the rag that Reno gave him for his lip. I didn't catch this. Noticing that you can keep things with you through the time skips. I thought that was going to play a huge part in the story. If it did, it wasn't really mentioned, and if so, that would suck for Stamets. Once I thought he was going to pop up in the next time skip slump on the floor because of the sedatives, or appear with that shard still impaled with him.
No, that's a good point, because I thought about that too, because they download the information to his iPad.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to work on this during the next jump." And
Yeah. So,
So
5,
the rag returned to the original time period because it got sucked through one of the plot holes.
That's right.
Which
is that what happened?
Everyone knows that plot
Yeah.
holes exist outside of space time.
That's true. They do. They do.
5. Rayner straight up spits in the ready room. Dude, come on. That's the captain's ready room. Have some respect. 6. So the transporters or the ship couldn't register an anomaly present when Adira returns back to the ship with the chrono bug. See, this is why they need to bring back transporter rooms. A transporter technician or chief would have caught that. Plus, that would make, transporter malfunctions great again.
There you go.
Make transporter malfunctions great again.
That's how he worded it.
That's
So
a
we get another
slogan.
2
That's a
7.
slogan I can get behind.
7. The power of friendship to take over the bridge. Seriously? So the things he thought was funny were Burnham pulling a liar, liar. I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind? More Jet Reno. He liked that. And awesome to see Lieutenant Commander Aram again. Nice they brought her back this season, even if it was just for this episode.
Yeah.
Topless Booker, for the ladies.
That's right.
Oh, bye.
Oh, bye.
So I hope I got that good for you.
That
Duvall,
was the same email I had, so he sent it to both of us. So there
okay.
Perfect.
That's all I got. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the next Trekcast, and also meeting you guys at Long Island next month.
Yeah.
He is looking
Duvall,
forward to meeting 66% of us.
66.6% of you. From Duvall, that New York City freelance correspondent guy for Trekcast.
That's right.
That's
right.
awesome.
Thank you, Duvall.
Thank you. And thank you for sending me an email. That was awesome. So, and then thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. So,
right.
strongbeard1701@gmail.com for all your Trekcast question and comment needs.
And then we also got a few people on the line, so we'll go real quick. We got our Chazbiz right there, Mikey versus Michael.
Yes, Mikey versus Michael.
Who did you think was going to win, Mikey or Michael?
Well, I thought they're going to whisper and see who can talk the lowest and cry more.
The cry.
Be a cry off.
We're 4 episodes in, and Michael has not cried that much. So
no, thank God.
A little emotional, but not crying. So hey,
yeah.
That's
those last 4 episodes, you're going to get when people die, you're going to have some.
Get in, loser. We're going crying. Yeah,
we're going to go in there crying. It's like this whole time bug thing. That just come up with a clever idea besides time bug.
I didn't hate
it,
but
just give it a name, something.
Yeah. Well, it was the Crenum, right? Time bug.
Whatever. It's a time bug though. It just crawls, so it's okay, whatever.
Seems like they were reaching a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lock them all. Somehow they're smarter than Starfleet and everybody else. I don't understand it. So.
Oh, because they're
who's paying them off? Somebody's controlling them.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Why couldn't Starfleet just buy them off? Okay.
Yeah. Well, somebody's paying them. Somebody's it's not just them. I don't think they're not that clever to do all this.
It's Cleveland Booker the 5th. Dun dun dun.
Right.
Plot twist.
Oh yeah.
Or it's asshole commander.
Either that or she wants to resurrect her dad. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
So destroy the universe to resurrect your dad, pretty much.
Last season we had a kid who cried and destroyed the universe. So
Soren wanted to destroy planets to go to heaven. So people can be that much of a dick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. It's a little bit much.
I mean, I locked up Chad just to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I was gonna say. How they met everybody and said, "You remember?" But I'm from the future, but I can tell you your deepest, darkest secret. It'd be like going to Daniel and saying Paddington 2 is better than Wrath of Khan, right? That's what Daniel said to me. And then Strongbeard here locked Chad up and gave him lotion.
Right.
And then
That's right.
Dan likes
lotion on
devil
the skin.
dogs and thinks hot dogs are sandwiches. So
it's because they are.
Right. No, I see your point. I do see your point.
And then you just sit there for 2 seconds, yeah, he's right. And not realizing that you're from the future, whatever. I don't know. It's
right.
Crazy. Not mirror universe, not a shapeshifter, not whatever. Especially when Reno looks and sees the whole new uniform, is like, oh, you look good in red.
Yeah.
And she sees Rayner. She's like, change the uniforms. That's cool.
Yeah.
Just walks away.
I like seeing Tilly as well. Tilly as an ensign
like,
or
your
a cadet.
hair changed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your hair changed. I like it. Yeah.
It's like it's super long now. It's like, what the crap? But I guess in the future you probably could change your hair that quick. You know, with the replicator, you could probably put something crazy on real quick. I don't know, but the uniform would definitely throw you off.
E6 says that Locke might be a Breen. They've never shown them. They've always been in the suits. So
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they were in the suits because
I thought they were dog-like
they're-
people.
they're breathing. Something with their
Yeah.
breathing, like they
I
can't.
thought they were like they like the cold and the suits.
Yeah,
keep
they
them
like
cold.
the cold,
Yeah.
like, almost sub-zero temperatures.
Esri was speculating about that on a Deep Space Nine episode. She's like, the refrigeration suits, maybe they're all furry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Hmm.
but we just don't know
We don't
because
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
That's what I like
they
about
said
it.
that they had no
I
idea.
don't wanna-
know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even though they've killed many Breen and they can take the suit apart and say, "Oh, that's what they look like."
You know, we'll get a Breen student in the Academy show, and that student will talk about what it's like living in a suit.
Yeah,
get
and
the
she'll be
He'll have the little
angry
breathing-
because of the war
Yeah.
and
And he'll
how
have
you
the
know
breathing
she's dealing with
device, like when
racism.
Wesley took his test. You know,
T-Bear, they wear the helmet because this is the way. Absolutely.
But
Yeah,
then
we got
another,
T-Bear waiting. So, anything else you want to bring up there?
Well, if there's
Justice?
two Breen, would it be like Wesley and the Benzite and be like where he gets the name wrong? And it's like they all look alike, and they're like, "You're racist, Wesley."
Yeah,
Because they all look alike. Because they
Yeah,
all
you
have the
guys
same
all look
suit?
alike.
Shit, you're racist. Get out of here, Wesley. We're cutting you from the show.
That's true. They don't wear name tags. It's
No.
an easy mistake to make.
But they all look like. Shut up, Wesley.
that's what they need to do. Everybody, oh, that would be so helpful. Everybody in Star Trek needs to wear name tags like in the military.
That's right.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Wow.
it'd be great.
But
Now
they
we know
probably
You
that.
hear
have,
that, Kurtzman?
They probably have a name like this long on some people.
Yeah.
Or the binars 1001110.
Yeah,
Just a little
yeah.
pop-up display right there. It's just floating their name the entire time.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
they
it.
probably have a heads-up display or something like in their eyes or glasses. You know, they probably have like a contact lens with the, heads up. So,
Mm.
I don't know.
Potentially. Yeah.
We're 4 episodes in, and it's getting a little iffy right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, now
It's like-
now it's getting
Right.
iffy.
Just now.
No, I'm saying
Just
this
now.
season. I'm saying this
Just now.
season.
Just this season
Just
has
this
been
season.
iffy. Okay, all right.
Otherwise, we've
Because
been
at first
fantastic.
two, I was like, maybe I can believe it, but now I'm like,
I'm not hating the season so far, so we'll
Yeah.
see what's in store.
I was like, can we recover next week? Let's see. If we do, all right, let's do it. We can do it. So
It's all
let's
national treasure. man.
end off in a bang and not a,
Yep.
Right. Right.
And it's like, and hopefully Badgie will.
Oh, you got it.
Nice.
You got
Nice.
it. You got it. Let's
Nice.
see it.
Hold-
Let's see it.
Let's see it again.
Yeah.
It's holding up the Badgie with, like action figure.
Funko Pop. Yeah.
I know I don't like
Funko Pop.
Funko Pops really, and I was like, this actually looks pretty cool.
That's
That's
the only
cool.
Funko I would want.
Yep.
Well, there's hardly any merchandise for Lower Decks, and then especially
That's true.
getting cut.
There's hardly
right now.
merchandise right
If
now.
there's a Michael Burnham one, we'll all pool our money together and send it to Dan.
That's right. Hey, Dan, we may
And-
see that funky battery at the convention.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you can
ask
write it in
his
your-
Rose Tico from Star Wars. So
Dan can write about his feelings about it in his Michael Burnham diary.
Oh, and the Discovery crew would never survive a Badgie attack.
No, they're too inept.
Yeah.
his diary whispering with Mikey. So
All right. Well, thanks to Chazbiz.
T-Bear. Okay.
Yeah.
I see how it
T-Bear's
is.
also waiting. I don't want to.
Yeah, we all look like Daniel.
Y'all look alike.
Thanks-
Y'all look
That's
alike.
right.
Thanks a
That's
lot,
right.
Daniel.
All right. Thanks. Man.
Uh,
All right, look.
Bye.
see ya.
All right. Yeah. We got T-Bear too, so let's bring him on. There he is.
Hey.
Man, I was-
Hey.
Hey, us lower deckers, we all look alike, huh? I see.
That's
how it
right.
is. Hey, I actually, it's been busy, so I've been able to get here in the mornings at 8. But I heard my recognition of the viral post of the holodeck.
Oh yeah,
exhibit.
yeah, absolutely.
So I came here to claim my reward or my paycheck for promoting Trekcast throughout the
yeah, you did great.
Yeah.
Your reward. Your reward is 6 thumbs up. Go ahead, guys.
That's right. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Where else are you gonna get that kind of recognition?
That's right.
Oh, that was worth it. Yeah, you got me for life. I'm gonna keep coming back even after I
Nice.
cancel my Paramount subscription.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Unleash
I went
Badgie
to
and Kurtzman. Oh,
Yes. Make that a hashtag. Make that a T-shirt.
yeah. Oh, that might be a T-shirt.
I
God.
gotta say, I actually like. It helps to come into watching Discovery with lowered expectations, and so far, it hasn't been. Oh wow, this is actually better than I thought. It's been. Oh okay, not bad. I can go with this. They made some changes. You know, they're being really explicit, calling out who the rest of the bridge crew is.
Yeah.
I know now that was Reese and what's his name, Bryce, Ariam. I'm like, I actually know their names now.
What's
Yeah.
Christian in the background? Always checking comms, I think.
Yeah, I don't know the new guy that replaced him, but
Yeah.
it's like it was a long time coming, and they realized, oh yeah, we forgot to do this. How about we just throw in a couple episodes? Because the first 2 episodes moved the plot along. This one has been, these last 2 have been kind of like fillers where they're really focusing on the characters and basically having in one episode basically have what's his name, the new commander, the new first officer, and
Rayner.
Burnham.
Rayner.
Yeah, Rayner and Burnham
Yeah.
come together and see eye to eye now. I'm like, that was a little quick. I would have rather had them be a little bit more antagonistic. I mean, they did a better job with Shaw and
Yeah.
having that one defining moment that you're like, oh man, this guy's actually growing on me. He's actually no, don't kill him off. What do you do? What are you crazy?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like I just hope to get back to the story, because the story part is what actually caught me this year. It's
Yeah.
disco is disco. It'll always be disco. It'll always be focused around Michael. But like, well, did they get the other artifact, the clue? And they ended this episode on, let's figure it out. I'm like, wait, you just wasted one whole episode out of 10. You're already limited on episodes, and you wasted one just for this. You could have had some thing where they actually found part of the artifact or something in this episode to kind of help move things along.
Yeah.
There was
Feels
no
like it
B.
a waste.
There was no B story.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no B story. There was the hint of a B story. We saw Locke and Maul. Is that their name?
Maul.
Locke and Maul.
Yeah.
We saw them at the beginning, and you kind of got the idea this might be the B story. We might cut back to them a couple times throughout the episode, but then they just didn't.
Right.
And that's typical Disco. They were never good at B stories. And in fact, I was impressed when last episode with Tarina and Saru. That was a classic B story where you have 2 separate plot lines. They all converge at one point. But I'm like, oh wow, this is actually flowing well as an episode. And now they're like, oh well, we forgot we're Disco. We can't do that. Let's go back to our normal storyline. So
Right.
yeah.
T-Bear, what direction would you like to see this storyline take?
This specific one,
Like, yeah, with the heist or the
the progenitors and
the progenitors and trying to find a. Is there a specific like? Oh, I hope it turns into this, or I hope it turns into that. Do you would just want to see a recipe for biscuits at the end?
I think
Or the power of friendship.
I hope they end up finding it and then they decide to destroy it, because having that kind of technology, as we've seen, going 800 years in the future, ruins the plot lines, or the plot holes, I should say.
Yeah.
But it makes it too easy. There's too much technology. The writers don't have to think about the situation. There's no risk to any character now because, oh, they die, we can just bring them back. We can just reboot them, or we can just do this. And yeah, I think that's something where they would all come to agree. Is like, you know what? Even though those 4 scientists agreed we weren't ready, we feel like we're still not ready, and I don't think we'll ever be ready. And in fact, I think it'll probably reveal something about the progenitors where they were never ready themselves, and that's why they're no longer around too. So they kind of self-destructed in that sense. I think that would be a true good story to tell, a good moral of it, of technology and not being able to advance along society along with it, kind of thing. So,
Okay.
but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. So one thing they did this season, they took a 35-year-old plot line
Mm-hmm.
from TNG and continued the story. Let's say that the Starfleet Academy is set in the 32nd century. We know that Discovery has this one story. That's it.
Right.
This is the last story that they're going to tell for this crew. But Starfleet Academy might still be set in the 32nd century. So what other old Star Trek storyline would you like them to do something similar in that they
Bugs.
revisit an old
The Bugs,
storyline?
yeah.
Whether
Bugs.
it's
yeah.
the Bugs, yeah, all right.
The bug.
Okay, how about this? Would you want a 32nd century Q? A different Q?
Yes, bring
Uh,
back the female Q that Q saved. What's her name? What was her name?
Q.
What was the girl
Oh, yeah.
that
Wonder
became a
Years.
Q?
Yeah, the one
Amanda.
that was born human and became
Yeah.
a Q, or she was really cute. Yeah, bring her back. She's
yeah.
still at conventions. I mean, they'd be
Yeah. And she was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I
Yeah.
did there? Cute.
wait.
She was cute.
Oh, because the Q and
Yeah,
the sound of Q is the beginning of
Right.
the sound of the word Q.
Oh my god.
Is that?
Wow.
Yes.
Awolf wants to know, is there a 32nd century DS9? I mean, the station would be really old. You'd think they'd get a new one.
I think
So
the whole station is
Correct.
quarks now.
There you
Right. Yeah. It's one big hollow suite. It's just one big
Yep.
giant gambling orgy food place.
go. Wow.
Oh, that's all it is.
Yeah.
So I had a random thought
Okay.
of something I would like to see them revisit. Do you remember the episode of Enterprise where they're at this planet and there's two humanoid species and one is like a servant class?
Yeah.
And they discover that the servant class will survive this plague. The other species will not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They and Phlox could cure it, but they decide not to because the proto prime directive. So I've always wondered what ended up happening with that world. Did this other species become the dominant species, and were they better than the other species? If that other species survived, did they treat them better?
Mm-hmm.
Or did the tables turn and now they're more of a servant class, they're a lower caste or something like that?
I think that those types of storylines are best left to Strange New Worlds.
If you're going to do the Academy show, what I want is a Dr. Phlox alternative medicine school. And all of his craziness that he did.
Yeah, a lot
all
of
the
leashes.
animals, yeah.
It's like, oh, you have a
I'm losing you guys. I'm
sprained
gonna
ankle.
reset real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's like you
So
come
you
in
hit
with a
a
sprained
pothole.
ankle, and
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
hit a
oh yes,
pothole,
let me
yes.
get my Denebulan slugworm to
That's
wrap
right.
yourself around it.
Yeah. The bat that got loose, and that was an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though. There's some stories that you don't want to have the continuation because it's actually better to live in your head as what could have been than to see someone's interpretation of it, and a good chance of it that is not the interpretation you would want it to see, and you were gonna hate it.
Yeah, like
And I
the
think that's the
origins of the
problem with
Borg. Don't do that. Just leave it alone.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just
you're right,
exist.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I've read books that have Borg origins or other origins, and it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's one interesting one, but how would you have done it? I'd probably do it a different way, and you're never going to get an agreement. And I think they're always going to mess it up somehow, no matter what they do. Every origin story messes something up.
Dan's back.
It's like Solo.
I don't give a
I'm
flock.
back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Anything?
when you send Dan the Michael Burnham Funko Pops, make sure you get one from the old uniform and one from the new uniform, so he has both.
Yes.
You know,
I'll,
They can
I'll
do
see
the
what
whole
I
day.
can do.
And
Yeah, I'll see what I
and-
can do.
and I need 2 of each because I want to keep one in the original package.
Sure,
So,
That's
sure.
right.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'll
That's right.
You can get 4 Burnhams.
Mint. Yeah.
get those out to you before before
them
New York.
signed.
That way,
Yeah.
you can display them and walk around with them.
Sure. Yeah. Toss them in the Long Island Sound.
Yep.
His denim jacket that's got like the Michael Burnham heart on the back,
I'm gonna bedazzle
Friendship is forever.
Yeah.
bedazzle my denim jacket.
Right.
Yeah. there
Oh,
you
did you
go.
guys? I was going to show you my T-shirt. I got a box. I found a box of T-shirts.
Oh, nice.
It says "Party Spock's in the house tonight," and then everybody have a logical time.
Nice.
Yeah. So I
That's
found from the move a few years ago. I found a bunch of old Star Trek T-shirts. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's cool.
I'm gonna be wearing a different one each week for the foreseeable future.
Nice.
So-
Nice.
Right on. All right.
But
Anything
enough
else you wanna
about
bring
me.
up, T-Bear?
No, just we'll see what goes on. I'm still pissed about Lower Decks, but what can I
Yeah,
do?
same.
I signed as many petitions as I could. So crossing fingers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jackway did say that they're trying to see, if they can find somewhere else to go. So.
There's already online petitions and change.org. I shared a change.org on
Yeah.
Facebook. There's a lot of people that are a little up in arms about it.
It's a lot. It's
And sometimes they listen to these things. Sometimes.
sometimes, but then
Oh.
again, they
I'd be
get
okay.
legacy.
Yeah, I'd be okay if they greenlight Legacy and say, you know what, we Lower Decks has had its run. It's 5 years, whatever. But
Yeah.
give us something, because right now I'm saying we just have Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds is great, but if they're going to go 5-year thing, we may only have one more season beyond the next one that they just approved. And what comes after that? I mean,
Right.
10 episode seasons of Star Trek is nothing compared to the 25, 24 episodes we used to get.
Right.
Yeah.
And with the Paramount up in air as far as ownership
Yep.
goes and leadership, that compounds it, makes it even worse. So we don't know.
Yeah, who knows? What if Disney buys it, and what if Disney makes Star Trek? Well, oh wait, no, they can't do that. It's already happened. But
Yeah.
but
yeah.
I mean, we saw what they did to the Star Wars franchise, and I don't think that's going to be any hope for Star Trek if they decide
Right.
to
We
do
would
something
get
similar.
quantity over quality then.
Well, and
If-
that's
if-
like if Sony bought it, what's going to happen, right? Like, we don't know which version of Sony we'll get. If
We're going to have Star Trek
Comcast
games
got-
that come on the PS3 or PS5 or whatever we're on.
PS16, whatever.
And
comes
we're
out
going to
next.
have more spider type bugs that cause
Mhm.
time and multiverse kind of relationships, and maybe that's why Sony put the bid in. Hey, they already have the same idea we have. This is a perfect fit for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But anyways, thanks guys.
Right.
Glad
Yeah,
the
thanks, man.
holodeck.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Exit worked out, and yeah, good to be back.
Awesome. Thanks, man. All right. Well. Oh, jeez. Will we get a Spider-Man crossover? Sure. Why not?
Not that I want that in any way, but it just makes me curious. Like the licensing agreement between Sony and Marvel
Yeah.
probably restricts them from crossing over with other licensed characters. I don't think they
Yeah.
could just do that on their own.
No.
Maybe. Well, we talked about it before too. In the comics, they've done Star Trek crossovers. Like the one that I remember most famously is the one with X-Men.
Yep.
Yeah.
They actually did 2 of them with X-Men. They did it with the original series crew, and then they did it again with the post First Contact Enterprise crew.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
called
okay.
Second Contact was the name of
Yeah.
the story, because it
Yeah.
picked up right as they were leaving the past to go back to the 24th century. They dropped in the 21st century on the X-Men.
I mean, already
Wasn't a bad story.
Paramount
Yeah.
owns the potential best crossover ever that they could do with Peppa Pig
Stop.
or the Paw Patrol.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. So,
A Star Trek NCIS.
there you go. You know, that's not a bad idea. Those
Starfleet's
NCIS
a naval
shows,
division. It
yeah,
really is.
and
They
those
could
shows
do.
do so well.
They do. So
D-Bear, that would be awesome. Yeah, it's not the worst.
they could make it. And they wouldn't. I think a Star Trek. Obviously, they wouldn't call it NCIS, but I think a NCIS type show would actually do pretty good because it's far enough into the future now, the 25th century, where they're not walking around in pajamas. They sort of have nice uniforms and it's kind of modernized. They could do a little division where they're just investigating different crimes and different things, and it doesn't have to be temporal. It can just be regular run of the mill. Hey, we've got a murder out at whatever, San Francisco, and let's go check it out. Grab your gear.
Well, T-Bear was saying Starfleet JAG.
Yeah,
That could be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and they've proved in the past that a courtroom show can be interesting.
Some of the best episodes were courtroom shows. So,
Yep.
Yeah. I would actually really like that. That sounds great.
I mean, yeah, if they could do, Starfleet was founded to seek out new life. Well, there it sits. One of the best lines of Trek.
What if your two shows are Jet Reno's This Old House and your court show, and that's it? We're not exploring anything.
Yep.
We're just fixing ships and finding criminals.
And
You reach
chips.
out to
Fixing
Kurtzman.
chips and eating chips.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
reach out to Kurtzman. I'll reach out to Kevin O'Connor
There you go.
from This Old House, and we'll see if we can make something happen.
Perfect. That sounds great. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much wraps it up for this episode.
All right, guys.
And we'll be back next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?